Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. So as you can see the background, I've done a little modification to the base. I blew out the wall and expanded on this one hill that's adjoining my base, and I've kind of worked around and moved a bunch of items and set up for Applied Energistics 2 automation. So I moved the crusher up here and I'm semi-automating it. I'm right now about to finish up my gunpowder crushing, which is leading to saltpeter. So gunpowder in a crusher produces saltpeter, and saltpeter is what I need to produce fertilizer. So here's a formula where I can take the saltpeter plus sand and dirt. I can produce sand with my magical crops and dirt with my magical crops. And with that, I produced 2 stacks of fertilizer, which has allowed me to restart my forestry farm. So I've kicked that up again. It's running full tilt, and I actually made a discovery with the video option. So if you go to video setting and change the smooth lighting, so it turns out that when I had this field, I guess it's a known problem with the crop sticks and AgriCraft that what happens is there's a lot, I think 8 different stages of growth for each plant, and when you have it on smooth lighting, it's trying to draw the bright shadows and shading for every single pixel within every single crop. So you can see how there's a lot of 3D effects here, and so it's that rendering, especially with the size here and being auto collected by the farm. The entire field was in a constant state of redrawing, and so by turning down that one setting, I've been able to expand my coal. And so I've set it up here where I need to start getting a lot more coal. So I've been running it down. I'm almost out of coal actually in the compacting drawer, and so I need to start build that up again, as well as the get a little bit. If I'm going to start relying on the earth and fire for more material, I'm going to have to worry about running that down too. So I also found out that there's a formula for limestone. So the limestone that we're using for mariculture can be produced with water and earth. And so with that, I've restarted the smeltery. It's not called a smeltery, it's called a crucible furnace. And I'm feeding in limestone through the item hopper, which was then filling up this tank, which was then dropping into this vat, which is then producing right now about a stack plus of magnesium dust. So I actually ended up building a second pump, which creates an infinite water source in order to keep this vat full at 30 buckets of water. And I just have this kinesis pipe just snaking around through half the base here. So I actually have like a lot of weird tunnels now that are running through the base. So I have this access tunnel that drops me right back up in the middle of the AE2 area, the ME system. I'm kind of prepping for a little bit of expansion, and I have an access tunnel here that's basically running the power lines all the way from the other end of, from the first access tunnel when I ran it over down to the hatchery. So this is going to run back to the steam area, and so all this is running full tilt and working fine. So I was looking at upgrades to the steam area, so I'm thinking of expanding the boiler tank. So that's actually producing steam quite well, but I think I want to upgrade at least one of these commercial steam engines to an industrial engine, so that way I can get an additional RF to do more things in parallel. And namely that I'm kind of prepping for the ME system. At the same time, I'm expanding my assembly table. So you can see that I went through and I built a lot more lasers. Basically, that just needed a lot more runes of wrath. The formula itself for a laser is not that complicated. And with that, I'm able to produce diamond chipsets at a semi-reasonable rate. I mean, it's still absorbing a lot of RF. If I had a better generation method, then I could be producing these faster. But I at least kicked out a couple of chipsets here, which will be valuable up in the in making the parts I need for the ME system. So, other than the crusher, I also made 2 Crystal Growth Accelerators. So the Crystal Growth Accelerator basically speeds up the basic crystal production. So here we have a Certus quartz seed. It's running a little slow, unfortunately, because I am running out of RF power. So since I have a couple of the diamond chips, let me go back and just turn this off and you'll see what I mean. Once I unpower that, unselect, great. So all the RF in the base is now basically going to be running towards this this corner over here, and we see that now we have the kinesis pipe graphic showing that the growth accelerators are both powered. You have to wait a little bit for that guy to kick back online. Yeah, actually, these are both offline, so there we go. Now they're finally online. And so when the crystal growth accelerators are running, they can basically speed up the growth of crystals that are in the water. So if I head over and look at the seeds, so Certus seed right here, Certus quartz seed is made from, let's see if I can find the formula. Okay. So the seed itself is made from Certus quartz dust. The dust can be made by basically grinding down Certus quartz crystal in a crusher, and the crystal is coming from my essence of Certus quartz. So with the sand and a Certus, that's producing the seeds then get dropped in water, and I have to wait for them to grow. So if I recollect these, we see that they're now up to 30%. So in a little bit of time, that's actually grown quite well. And so I've been doing that a couple of times and building up a crystal repository. So I have Certus quartz and these pure nether, pure Certus from nether quartz seed are not complete. All right, so I'd have to throw that in too. Actually, yes, let's get that stack going also. Bloop. Okay. And so growing seeds like that is going to create pure quartz. And so I need the pure quartz here to create, well, I'm going to need it to make some of the ME parts, but I really need it here in the thermionic fabricator in order to make Certus quartz electron tubes. And these are important because those are what I do in the Inscriber to make printed calculation circuits. So that's one of the base items for the ME system. So here is the Inscriber basically hooked up. This is something I did in Sky Factory, basically using basic Minecraft hoppers. And so when you feed items in the side, they're going to end up in this middle socket. You have to, the silicon that's going to have to feed in the bottom is going to have to be manually inserted, or it has to come in from, I think maybe this side. Not quite sure, but in order to get items extracted, it has to be from either this side or the bottom. So I think I need an item pusher to get the silicon up. And in any case, the Inscriber recipes, let's check those out. So various electron tubes are going to make the printed circuits, and I'm going to need to then use the printed circuits with chipsets in order to make logic processors. So all this second tier are going to require printed silicon, which is going to require regular silicon, which is just melting down quartz in a smeltery. So, charger, I built the end of last episode. I've just automated a little bit with a little bit of hoppers so I can dump stuff in the top and just let it loop through naturally. And so, let's take a look here. Are these ready yet? No, they're not ready, or else they would be automatically... Oh, pure nether quartz crystal. Okay. I think they actually were ready, and that 80% stack got absorbed here. So, let's throw that in. Throw the diamond chipsets to actually go over here for now. So these are all the parts that I'm building up for the next tier of ME crafting. So, let's grab a little bit of the... Well, let's grab another stack of Certus quartz crystal. Let's throw it in the crusher. And I'm going to have to let these grind down basically to produce 2 more stacks of Certus dust. But since I have some Certus dust, let's head back over to a furnace and start melting these down in order to get our silicon. So right now, I seem to have a pretty good grasp on the start of the ME system, and so I'm going to keep plugging away at this for a bit until I'm in a position to begin the next tier of inscribing. There we go. That was my, looks like the pure Certus quartz crystal just completed. So I'm going to take a quick cut, and I'll be right back when I'm ready to craft. Wow, there we go. Okay. That should be more than enough fluix for a while. So let's throw that all back into this chest here. So I've been moving some stuff around. I've, throwing my ring of magnetization on the ground. So I moved the carpenter block up here. I ran a water pipe back to my infinite water source network under the farm. And I moved the thermionic fabricator up here because I'm going to be making a lot of pure Certus quartz electron tubes. And so, unfortunately, I'm doing a lot of things that are still tapping my power. I'm making even more dust over here. And so, I just finished burning down the silicon into printed silicon, which means I am ready for the next step of creating parts. So the ME drive is going to be the base holder of storage cells within the ME system, and so for that I'm going to need 2 engineering processors. So at this point I'm going to take the printed circuits, the diamond chipset, and my printed silicon and throw it in the Inscriber. And hopefully with that, I should be able to crank out at least a couple of parts. So let's throw that in there. Diamond, and it's just going to go... No. Okay, so let's try that again. Take another look. So printed silicon, diamond chipset, printed engineering circuit. What am I missing? So I'm throwing it in and it's disappearing. Probably because they're being sucked out the bottom. Okay, so this kind of automation is not going to work. Yep, okay, there we go. So now we're cooking with gas. No, now we are creating our part, our engineering processor. So I'm gonna do that one more time to get the parts I need for the storage cell, or the ME drive. So iron, glass cable. Glass cable is just quartz plus fluix. Quartz is just glass with nether quartz. And so what I did was I made another one of the here's my glass, these work tables. And so I can grab the dust. Nah, actually, what's going to be more? Yeah, okay. That's actually saltpeter. So if I take the material and put it here inside the work table, I want to have that as one of my repeatable formulas. So quartz fiber will be locked in. And then with where did I put it? I'll grab a stack of fluix crystals, and let's make another formula of the cable. So if I put the quartz in here, that'll make 4 pieces of glass cable. Excellent. And so with that, I should have everything I need. If I were to grab some iron, come over here, let's make an ME drive. Awesome. And so that's going to be the base holder of the storage cells. And so what I need to do is start out with the base cell, which is the 1000 unit 1K storage cell. So for that, just iron, redstone, quartz glass. So this is another thing I want to make over here in the repeatable work table. So let's make that. Make one of. Do I have all the parts? Okay, so let's replace this with regular glass. Replace these with Certus quartz, and there we go. That should be everything I need to make quartz glass. Excellent. So so I'm going to need to make one of these storage components, which means I'm going to need to make a couple of logic processors. So these are the gold version printed logic circuits, golden chipsets. So let's grab a couple of these, and the silicon. Great. So put that up there, put that here, whoops, and that there. And that should be enough to make at least one of the golden chips, one of the golden circuits. So let's grab that logic processor and get another one cooking. And so if I come over here, so I'm going to use the non-charged variety. Okay, so just basic. Actually, let me take a quick peek. Can I use non-charged Certus quartz? Yes. But I also need to put redstone here in the mix. Okay. And my logic processors. There we go. Alright, so now let's remember the formula for a 1K storage, which means now I can do this formula to make to go from the storage component to a storage cell. So let's throw the quartz glass back inside. And what am I missing? I am missing more iron. Alright, so let's throw the iron in here. Great. Alright, better than chests. So with that, I have my first drive and my first storage cell. So I'm going to need to put it close to this energy acceptor for now, because you see that it does not actually connect up to the RF network. It only connects up to the fluix network. So let's throw in the 1K cell, and it's currently offline. Well, actually, is that green? Okay, that's actually a green icon because it's empty. Got it. Okay. So before I can access my quote ME network, I'm going to need to make a terminal. So the terminals are our way of interacting with the system. And so there's a couple of useful terminals. So the base one is this ME terminal, which is a formation core, annihilation core, another one of the logic processors, and a variety of illuminated panel. Depending upon the kind of panel that you pick is going to determine the base light level of the so if you want it to glow in the dark and actually act like a lamp, you can go for an illuminated panel, or in my case I'm just going to go for a whatever the base panel is. So bright illuminated goes from illuminated, which is quartz glass, glowstone, redstone, and iron. So that means I need to grab a bit of a little bit of glowstone out of my network. So let's find it over here. Great. And do I need some more redstone? Probably. So heading back to the work table. Yep, let's throw that in. Throw the glowstone into the system and head back and find that formula for the panel. There we go. Alright. Do I have the equipment? No, I need more quartz glass. So let's grab one of that and then done. Which now means I need to pick. So the ME crafting terminal is the one that I'm the most interested in for now, because that's going to allow me to use the ME system, well, like a crafting table. So it'll use the internal inventory to source whatever kind of formula I'm looking for. Interface terminals are good for looking at all the automation of your ME system. And the pattern terminal is how we create the automation. And it's a very quick way of assigning patterns to interface terminals. So let's get going. So I'm going to need that ME terminal, a crafting table, and a calculation processor. So that means I need to actually make another crafting table. I'm really hoping that I still have one left over. Yes, I'm down my last crafting table, but as soon as I have this up and running, we'll see that this is going to really get easy to make. So let's head over here. Let's make a, let's grab my terminals out of here. Illuminated, oh, okay. Illuminated panels. Yep, so let's grab that extra logic processor. There we go, refill that. And that should be enough for us to make a ME, oh no, I can't make the ME terminal yet. I need to make one of these formation cores. Yes, jumping ahead. So, formation core, annihilation core. So that's going to be Fluix dust and Certus quartz and yet another logic processor. So let's see if I have some of that already created. No, so let's grab some Fluix crystals and throw it in the crusher. Grab this out. Yep, so I'm going to need quite a number of these logic processors. So let's make a couple more. So click, click, click. Yeah, very shortly I should have this automated. Though, yeah, so I'm going to need another hopper to feed in from the top. Feeding in from the bottom is going to be I'm going to need a little interesting. So I'm going to need different kind of pipe, or maybe, yeah, one of those pipe in the engines in order to pump stuff upwards. I guess I could use a dropper. I don't usually use them that way to throw things up in the air, but I think that might work. But let's head back over here and work on a annihilation, or at least let's try to make a formation core. Can I do that? So I'm going to need the charged quartz, or can I just use base Certus quartz? Fluix dust, do I have any yet? Yes. Okay. Throw that in, and throw the logic processors in. There we go. Formula for a formation core. And next is the annihilation core. So let's just grab a little bit, since I have a couple stacks of pure nether quartz, let's use that as the formula for annihilation cores. Great. So that now means I have all the parts for a ME terminal. Illuminated panels, let's throw that in. Done. Okay, so that should be my 9 formulas for making ME terminals, which now means for the crafting terminal I'm going to need just one more calculation processor. And the calculation processor is going to be our quartz chip and our quartz. So where did I put that? Oh, it's right here in my inventory. So actually, I'm going to need the quartz electron tube here, and Inscriber calculation press here. Okay, so put that guy up here, and I'm going to need to let these tick down. Well, at least let's make one before I let the system go crazy on making more circuits. So it's working pretty fast at least, so that's encouraging. Though I guess I could do for some more RF in my network, but I've been saying that for a while. But as soon as I get over this hump, things are going to accelerate. I can feel it. So 1, 2, 3. So that's going to make... Oh, nope. Okay, not the diamond. I'm going to need the quartz chipset. So let's head back downstairs to the laser area. Whoops, let's not do that. What am I missing? Quartz chipsets. Right here, 4 quartz chipsets. Okay, that one took a little bit longer to run, but we have our calculation processor, which now means we should have enough to make the crafting terminal. Excellent. And hopefully I can just shift right click onto the network, and that is not doing anything. Okay. Device currently offline. Let me head back down and disengage the assembly table, because I think that's probably what's doing it. Oh shoot. So my the whole thing, the steam boiler's gone cold. Okay, so I'm going to have to fill all this up with coal again. Yeah, all these are out of service, so this is going to take a little while to get my RF network up, so I will see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back and all systems are operational. So the steam engines are now producing enough RF to power the Kinesis network, which is powering the energy acceptor, which is powering the glass cable, which my ME drives are now online. So I crafted another ME storage cell, and I'm now at the point where I can start placing items inside the ME terminal, and voila. So with this, I can start just bulk dumping stuff inside. It's going to fill up in first in order, so it's going to look and see that this is going to try to fill up to 1,000 elements first, and from that point, I think I'm going to have to move on to some higher level storage cells, but I'm definitely going to go through and try to clean up the rest of the chests across the base. Now, I did end up making a hopper and powering it with a hovering hourglass. Alright, so this little arrangement has allowed me to automate, well, the production of chips. So let me just grab a couple things now. Engineering circuit in the upper left, a chipset in the center, and a printed silicon in the bottom. We'll start to power up and produce my engineering processor. So if I were to just align this with the hoppers and the droppers and the various stuff, so it should auto feed all the parts I need to, and then the RF power will then power it up and continuously make additional processor units. And so I can come in, just clean these out after a short period of time, and the same logic works for making the circuits themselves using the inscriber plates, so on and so forth. So this is going to allow me to build all the base parts that I need for more equipment. Alright, so with that, I'm going to call this an episode. So I'm probably going to work a little bit more on the ME system in between episodes. Probably move it away from this corner. It's already feeling a little congested. And get to work on probably producing a couple more inscribers and do a little bit more automation around the base where possible. I'm also going to look into some additional steam production possibilities, and I'll demonstrate that when I come back. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like and let me know how I'm doing, and I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye!